2016, there was videos being made weekly about these guys, about how Shox could peak higher than anyone you could name, and Kenny was the best opper. These guys have fallen off so far, and ENCE, a team that came out of nowhere, Alu aside, are the favorites, in my opinion.
Yes, and you have to say G2, they have been very vocal, the organization. They are not happy. They are displeased with the project overall.
Oh, come on. Well, how can you not?
I'm crediting them like they're not by trying to shove it under the carpet or anything like that. They're actually quite aware of it and publicly saying that they are rebuilding. And this is obviously still a trial period, I'd say, for Jax. And Lucky, of course, we'll see what they can do. It's Alu who faces towards middle first, and we'll see if he can crack open the first skull as he uses the USP. They actually takes a bullet to the face himself, doesn't go down, but his teammate is ready to challenge along. That's young Sergey. He takes the bomb down. Has he got anything left in the tank? Of course he has. This guy is world class. Excellent skill. He's got the bomb towards long, and he's not stopping anytime soon.
We're into the gaming hours, as some people would say, the late night in which our owl mind possesses its best skills. It might be a long day, but these guys will be fired up and ready to play. We're not 2 a.m. yet. We're not burning the midnight oil from a player perspective yet. A little longer for some of the production crew, etc. And Sergey shows exactly that. He's young, he's youthful, he'll be full of energy and full of life. Doesn't have one left in this round, but he took 3 on his way out. So good start, as it's G2 backpedaling ever so slightly. To your point, I think it's commendable that they've called them out. It's only come 2 years late, in my opinion. I remember late 2016 going into 2017, or maybe it was even 2015 going into 2016 when the Dream Team was made, whatever year that was at this point. And Thorin said outright, these guys will dominate Counter-Strike and put them on the map. And I said, I'm not so sure. Not to give myself credit for being right. I just thought it was going to take time for them to get there, not that they wouldn't. They just never did.
Well, this round doesn't look that promising, I have to say. We'll see if those dreams can be realized as the smoke heads in towards B. The Molotov as well. They're dumping everything they've got left. The 3 versus 2. They've telegraphed their coordination towards the B bomb site. You can see it's actually a nice little approach considering there's only 2 players surviving here. They must be able to get a bomb plant down. It's going to be X7 to try and shut that potential down, though. It's going to be Shoxy to bring it back to the 2-on-2, and actually G2 might have the advantage at this stage.
Jax sitting on top of the site is going to be the man that really has to hold this together, Alu. Get it together, man. Alexib this morning, I say, hours ago on Nuke, was phenomenal with aim. We'll see if he can add that again. Smoke down on bomb, no kit in hand. Doesn't have armor either in this situation, so he is quite hindered. Shox, he's looking for the knife. That's desperate. Shox is a more experienced player than that. He does. He's got this.
Definitely got it.
Shox panics. Why? I mean, running into the smoke with a knife, sure. But why rely on that when you don't need to?
Yeah, Alexei's made him look like a bit of a car horse, and you're right, Shoxy baited into it. It was a lovely play, to be fair. The fact he touches the defuse as he throws the smoke as well suggests I'm going for this. I don't have time. I'm going to go for this full defuse, and Shoxy just takes it. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm afraid. And it is going to be ENCE getting that easy last kill. You can see after he swung the knife around, got a little bit discombobulated, had to get out of there, and it was just a free frag. And they got to buy up in the second round, G2. Is that going to work out for them? We just saw Fnatic, another big name, go 0-2 in this Swiss format. And G2 not that desperate just yet, but it's definitely a worrying time for these bigger names, as the AKs will be in the hands of Jax and Body. Shoxy has the Galil here. Deagle's in the hands of Kenny S and Lucky. You see a plethora of rifles on the CT side, UMPs as well, as the long control is trying to be established at this point. 3 players flash over, start their route towards the A bomb site. Flash just to negate any presence towards the bathrooms here. You can see that's successful. It's actually a very passive setup here from the CTs. They're relying on the crossfires they've got right now. They're trying to hold on to the utility, not use it too much at the start. They are limited here. They know this is a bit of a difficult situation for them. That bomb being planted and kills found. G2 haven't fired a bit off yet, so ENCE won't necessarily be aware those AKs are out in full force.
Kenny, Jax, and Body all working in together. Lucky and Jax, the late additions to try and salvage this lineup, this attempt. See if they can make it work. Remember as well, there's a lovely little French duo, Omnic and Devaduvek, that Sean played with for some periods of time.
Misfits, that's right.
They're still on the market. There's talent there. There's new blood coming in. It's the case in every individual scene right now that young blood seems to be the trend and what revitalizes everything. Sergey being a prime example for Finland. Goes down early this time. In fact, so too will Alu and Alexib, only getting 1 kill from all of that, and I think already they'll call out the save. This will be G2 on the second round responding. Well done.
Yeah, great work by them. You can see that long control established early on. They actually had a pretty decent buy, all things considered. They lost a pistol. They get 3 rifles out of it. Basic utility as well, enough to get themselves close to the bomb site there. A couple of nice shots hit. It was Body, Kenny S and Jax finding the headshots required, and now it's up to Ariel and X7 to try and hold on to the little they have. A couple of UMPs, a flashbang as well. It's not ideal. They've just been fully reset here on Overpass, so they're going to get $1,400 per player on top of these 2 UMPs. They're going to be double eco regardless, so they will force up around these, and we'll see if they can actually hold on to the residual SMGs. It looks like that will be the case. They get a kill from that. They give them an extra $600. So those guys could technically drop another SMG each and then help out with the utility side of things, or just buy themselves grenades. We'll see what they go for. As I said, they're double eco regardless, so they might as well go for it, and we'll see which way they're inclined. I would say this is worth a tactical timeout, considering it's a best of 1. So they are purchasing, dropping things around. Alu not investing absolutely everything he has. He goes for just the Kevlar here. His teammates, it's not the full investment, just some upgraded pistols. You can see they've got about $500 left over. They could have got a bit more out of this, but didn't want to get rid of every last dollar. And that's fair enough. We'll see if they can get this first kill towards the underpass position. It's going to be Jax to find a first, but that jump will cost him his life as Alu recovers an AK-47, I'd imagine. 4 versus 4. That actually helps out the CTs, considering the lack of firepower they had. Now they have a rifle to work with.
Lucky's going to work back toward the ladder position. If he goes down there, he might actually catch out Alu. But Alu has other plans. He's fallen off. He's gone back toward water instead. So Alexib now has some support in place. I don't always love that if you're going to push the underpass position and then fall back through the door because you don't have bathrooms, that you rotate your A player all the way back through B. I often think if that's going to be your plan of approach, if you're going to play passive on A with the player down there, make it be a B player, because then if he rotates out of the door, he's already back on the B site.
There's plenty of options. Overpass is very tricky with the rotation. You can be baited into all sorts of difficult situations, and that's exactly what G2 are going to try and present right now. They've got 2 smokes left. Make it 3, actually, as they make their way silently towards the A side, but Sergey will have to fight up front here. 5-7 only. That smoke actually helps him get back somewhat. Molotov's being thrown around. His time is diminishing here. You can see 30 seconds, and this has been a problem for G2 in the past, is running out of time and not really being too assertive with their play, but luckily that presence towards A has done absolutely wonderful work. You can see they're going towards B now. It's an open side. That bomb will go down no problem. There's only Alexei there with the PD-50. He'll be taken down. Bomb plants are no problem, and what looked like could have been a bit of a dicey situation was recovered quite nicely.
Shock's waiting. Crosshair placement to the edge of the smoke, and that's not a bad decision. He knows that that's where they've got to enter from. Sergey waiting on the other side. Great X-ray toggle. Shox is going to go hunting, and Sergey fades out at the exact moment that he does so. He will reveal. Not by red dots, thank you, Val, for that, but instead by vision, and Shox gets that directly onto his head. Alu in a 1-on-3, and not going to go for it. So G2 not only answer back on the second round, but they'll take the lead, and in doing so, this time take quite a bit of money in their favor, as there won't be much for ENCE to work with. Boom, goes the dynamite.
It absolutely does. Remember, they did force that, but they kept themselves about $500, so they're not financially ruined. Next round they can actually buy, and this one they'll just probably have PD-50s at the very most. Work off Alu's AK. He's got a defuse kit as well. It's not outside the realms of possibility they win this. He's going to drop a PD-50 for a teammate. He had one left over from the previous round. With 3k. The money will be pretty stable going to the next one. If Alu can find a couple of kills here, that would be great. Just give himself another $600 if he can do it. He's actually a pretty handy rifle as well, another one-trick pony. As we'll get into round 4, 2-1 in favour of G2 on the T side here, an overpass. So it's scheduled a little bit earlier than the time we're playing, but it's the way she goes sometimes. I'm sure this game will be great nonetheless. Lucky that makes his way towards a party area, smoke down towards bathrooms to remove vision from the CTs. You can see the very most have got PD-50, CZ, that one smoke, and that should be the first kill coming in. Luckily for G2, they are not the ones to give it away, but Alu compromises and manages to take down Shoxy in the process, and they have a bit of vision towards B now. They can at least confirm that side of the map is clear and fall back and stack A. Whether they can do that in time, considering the position of Kenny S, is another question altogether.
Alu waiting, smoke down. Oh, they're going to make contact. Shoulder contact. Open ice hit, yet no results, no resounding effect to it because they go by each other, and They don't get caught out in such a way that actually compromises the positioning. So Body smokes again toward the truck. Boost out back behind the fence. Very spammable fence. As soon as that's spotted, it can be absolutely torn apart. They'll have to be perfect in their means of falling back. Alexa, he'll get one. Fall off it now. That's exactly what you've got to do in that situation. In fact, they even consider throwing him back over toward B just in case they've fallen back. It's now confirmed they haven't, so get back to the site. Support Alu, who maybe doesn't necessarily even need it. He's got Alexa to get the second kill, but Lucky is left in a 1-on-2. Fair enough. Still gets absolutely out-aimed. Alexib's looked stellar today.
That is kind of nuts. They went into that round with one AK-47, PD-50s, no armor, and a CZ. That round falls apart. That is going to be gutting to the morale of G2. Again, they get to the mouth of the bomb site. A little bit apprehensive. Couldn't really work out they wanted to commit or not. That lovely boost towards the CT steps there. Pretty common these days, but actually perfectly timed. A great time to deploy it. It gets them a kill. It causes chaos. Allows the other players to show position after that, and it all falls apart. G2 will buy up, though, 4 AKs and 1 pistol. Body will be the player without the firepower this time, but Alexi B will certainly have plenty to deliver as he throws in the HE towards the T steps. Only doing a little bit of damage. Look at this positional control. It's Sergey who's in the playground. Such a difficult position for these T's to flush out. Not a problem for Kenny S, though. He will use the AK-47. And like I said, that was a great position from the CTs. They're actually falling apart somewhat here. 2 missed shots from Ali now. Surely his days are numbered as he nails the quickscope there. And now it is an advantage for ENCE, even more so. Ali showing us those misses were just for fun. And now it's a 3-on-2 as Alexi B tries to get out of the situation. He's on 39 HP. Still has his AK in hand, of course. We've got 1 smoke remaining on the CT side. A flashbang for Ariel. And this is a pivotal round. This decides who takes the financial lead.
Ariel's positioning is actually quite exceptional. He can push all the way up and try and capitalize. Narrow margin of error on it because he actually, as you can see, clipped the railing. Pesky little railings. Falls back. Lucky should check the rights. That's a well-timed flash.
Yep, really well done.
That just absolutely wrecked Lucky.
Yeah, he maybe gets a kill out of that, and it's a realistic chance he wins it, but now making so much noise, done for. And that will be X7 picking it up, and that's ENCE taking the lead here. What an excellent team that turned out to be. Turn the right heads of the minor, sailed through, and looking to get to the top 16, and so far so good, 1-0 to their name. We'll see if they can continue here in round 6. Surely the eco comes in from a G2 here. They've got an average of about 3k per player. Jack's significantly less than 1900, as only at the second stage. Loss bonus has to be the full eco. A couple of deagles, as we will see ENCE. Just very, very passive game, I assume here. They'll go for the initial pick off Alu, just to get the intel. They cross over towards that playground, and he'll fall back. He doesn't want to risk losing that AWP.
Kenny working up from the underpass. Body's also going to work back out in front side of the bathrooms. Shock Steagle as well, looking over top of the wall. So in spectacular fashion 2 rounds ago with a single AK, and steal back the Thunder, and then they add the Lightning. Let's add a bunch more cliches and metaphors on top of the round, Henry.
It's what we do best.
No creativity here. Sergey, he's being quite creative. Smoke actually goes out behind him from his teammate, plays the edge of it, and gets away. Dinked up, but it's a pistol dink, and he's only on to 57. It was not the deagle. If it was through the wall. I didn't think it was a deagle shot, but it might have been. It might have been just the Glock from Jax instead. Alu, he'll watch out toward long, AWP in hand. And he can afford to focus firmly on that position and solely on that position because he's got 2 players inside of the site that will watch the front. The stairs, one of them being Alexa, who uses a nade this time. The other, at the backside of the dumpster and now the truck, is Sergey and Alu Fun Shocks. To close it out, we go 4-2.
Certainly do. That was the full eco. Nothing too exciting. 1 kill comes in for G2, no plants, but they do have cash here, we know that. Third stage loss bonus. Round 7. 4k. You can afford the AWP on Kenny. Does he go for the glass cannon on the T side? Not advisable. More of a CT gambit, but round 7, here it comes. Alu looks very comfortable so far, and Kenny does go for the AK-47. Wants that utility, wants the protection of the armor as well. He'll be more efficient instead of risking taking an early nade and going down to like 10 HP. Body gets through the initial smoke. Lucky will be joining him. Still waiting to see these new young players be able to deliver on the big stage. Alu takes a shot towards Monster, actually nails Shoxy in the legs. On the thigh, takes him in a 16 HP, and Sergey surely done for here. Katowice gets dropped. If he gets away with this, that's so fantastic. That teamwork map is just off the scale. The fact that it's working with such synergy, it's great to see a team of this age. Remember, Sergey's 16 years old and playing years above his experience. As we get into a 5-on-2, Jackson Lucky, like we said, the new boys got to prove themselves here. This round looks like a monumental task.
Right? Yes. Not enough with it. Take a seat, son. Drop that head in shame. Jax is going to go back out. Smoke's still down. Wants to work toward the sight. Bomb is behind him. In a 1-on-4. Not really much you can ask for in this situation. Oh mon dieu, mon ami. What a terrible time to be alive for Jax. That was French.
I got it.
I'm cultured.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice. Good shot from Jax, but ultimately it will be ENCE having quite the clean up there, not even allowing G2 to even present a default. Sergey, balls of steel, flies around the corner, wide peak, nails a shot, finds the bomb. Oh, hell breaks loose. And we'll find ourselves 5-2 in favour of the Finnish squad. G2. It would have been a time where going into this sort of matchup you'd think there'd be no chance ENCE can even touch him, but very different times these days in 2019. Deagles, PD50s, Kenny S, surprisingly the only one to buy Kevlar. He does have a little bit more money than his teammates, but we know the storyline now. I don't even have to explain to you guys. He needs the extra cash. That sniper rifle is his bread and butter. We need to see it come out. Start raising morale. The Eagle shots will push the CTs back, and my god, that's a straight up wall bang.
Yep.
Through towards the connector door, and it absolutely rattles Jax. There's like 3 bullets all in the head.
These young stars, man, they know when to use these little gimmicks, these little tricks.
Yeah. They're born and bred CSGO.
It's absolutely true. They've seen all those little exploits that we used to call as like incredible plays and so situational.
Sure.
Analyzed it enough to go, well, actually, I know when to make that work. And that's what we're seeing more commonly now. It's crazy. I mean, that's a theory. I'm sure there's more to it than just that. Nonetheless, Alu on top of the site still has his AWP ready to roll. Ready to rock and roll. In front of the sights, body rolling over as well because he gets pummeled by it. So too does Lucky. Shax trying to pick him apart, won't do it. Alu gets yet another. Yeah, deagle me that, Scotty. It's like a Star Trek reference, kinda. Not really.
Yeah, seemed applicable. We got a tactical pause.
Our first of the game.
Well, G2. I'm wondering who the coach is. I actually don't know who G2 coach is right now.
It's
you know, you got this?
I can see the top of his head and I can visualize his whole face. I can't remember his name. It's not Omnic. It's someone Malik. Not Malik. He was the guy that subbed in that event. Remember? With Scream, wasn't it? Same guy.
I don't think that's him. I don't recognize that dude.
Someone tweeted me. I recognize him. I've definitely seen him.
Maybe you're
or he was doing an interview earlier. I've talked to him. I said hello. I can't remember his name right now.
Well, there we go.
I'm like 99% sure it starts with an M.
It might be Malik. I'm not sure. Either way, the orb for Kenny S comes up. But like I said, he bought that Kevlar previously, right? And now look at him. He doesn't have Kevlar now. That it's such an error. He needs to hold on to the cash, and he's going into these big rounds now where he's using the star sniper, and he's so vulnerable, and he's cost himself that.
It is Malik.
It is Malik. There
yes.
we go.
Yeah. That is right. I knew it was something like that. See, on the Nick with an N, with an M, Malik, we're kind of not the same, but it works. Lucky waiting out toward the park. Shock's already looking out short tunnel. No one really getting any information, any map control. They will put Summit long now, though, because they've already got the connector covered off. Kenny can sit and babysit with the AWP. When was the last time you casted a Kenny highlight?
It's been a while for me. I haven't seen them in many tournaments we've been casting. It's been a rough year, but this is the rebuild now. Like they've realised they've gone the complete opposite direction they initially went. Remember, they had Smiths and Existence come back, got them out, and brought in unknown quantities, young blood, and that is the way forward. That's the way the game is. That's the direction it's heading in. Unfortunately, for some of the older players, like these young stars, they really do have an upper hand in some of the 1v1 duels, and their movement, their aim, their aggression, their reaction time is so superior in some instances. That grenade goes through, how much damage does that do? Not too much. Goes past the two players there a little bit too deep. 20 seconds remaining though. The bomb will go through Monster. If Ariel starts lighting them up here, they're in big trouble. They managed to escape the choke point initially. The flashbang comes through. First shot nailed. Can he find anything more? It looks like it's an absolute nightmare for G2 at this point. He's found 3 kills in the bomb site. Ariel is loud and proud right now. He's got 4 seconds. The round's already won. They can't plant the bomb. He is absolutely wrecked them there, Matt. Most players at that point, they hear them coming, he would just challenge and try and get that 1 kill. He waited by the pillar until the teammates were there to flash him in. Then he peeks, and you saw how confused they were. They weren't sure how to position themselves, how to react, how to trade, because the flash was so powerful. That's really nice teamwork from ENCE, and G2 continue to flounder. It will be the full buy though, the loss bonus racking up, of course. The AWP for KennyS, once again glass cannon. And for people might think I'm making a big deal out of that, but remember, anytime a bullet hits you as an opener, your scope with the aim punch flies up in the air. Grenades get near you, you're basically out of the round. So it's a huge risk. The glass cannon is named aptly. So make his way towards Monster, and we'll see what's possible. Ariel, his confidence will be swelling. I have to say, that last round was glorious. 7-2 up. G2 haven't had many opportunities to get much further than a couple of kills.
Ariel's position right now as well, that should be almost guaranteed against Shocks, and it is. He'll fall off. So even with a player at the door, they can't do anything with it. They can't open it back up. They want to exploit Monster, knowing that they're so close onto the short position. But even then, one further step and Ariel was exposed. They didn't have the confidence because they don't have the information inside of the site. They just can't win out of these duels. Body was already tagged onto 3 HP, so he was not very, I would say, akin to taking that fight in the first place. So they back away with nothing to show for their efforts.
7
and get right through the wall.
Is that another straight up wall bang?
Yep.
It is, with the bomb going down as well. My goodness, it's going from bad to worse. If he gets another one like that, I'm going to lose my mind. They've got 2 ridiculous kills in those boxes right now. The grenade dunks on Body. It's all going wrong.
Where's Alexib on the map? Was that thrown from A?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe it was bounced. Okay, yeah, okay. I saw the truck come down. I think it was bounced to the right. So either way, got the information based on the jump, knew they were there. Still pretty sick. Jax, he's going to push up front side of the bathrooms. Again, finds himself this time on a 1-5. So much damage, so few kills. Not one going the way of the French side.
Yeah, and don't even have to break a sweat right now. It just looks so superior in every facet of the game. This G2 roster needs to wake up. They had a very, very close call against Vega Squadron as they take a tactical timeout. That says it all, really. This speech better be inspirational. Shock's famous for a few of those in the past. This time Malik delivering the goods. Trying to fire them up. The money for me is it's all about you've got your star AWPer who can't find any confidence because he doesn't have armor at any point in the game. He gets the AWP out there, then he'll give you opportunities. He can't take aggressive picks because he doesn't have the armor. Really need to just work on the default, basic smokes, get him in position. Let's maybe focus on the fundamentals there and actually give one of the world's best AWPers formerly the weapon of choice. And with the Kevlar, he's purchased again now. He's gone down to 1800. He needs to stop buying so much, but he will get 3400 on top next round. It's not a huge deal, but still, my point remains. He needs to make sure he gets that cash flowing. CZ's smokes, Body with the Mac 10. They'll go for some sort of execution here. I'd assume towards B with the weaponry. It makes most sense, but this boost actually shuts that all down. It'll have to be a hell of an execution here to get past this boost. That's if they head towards B. This is the most logical place considering the weaponry. You don't really want to challenge over all those long range duels. We'll go for some mid control here from the connector. Plenty of time here.
Take back over toward the site through the back stairs for ENCE. Quick boost, potentially, with the pistols. Try and get some information. Nope, just going to go straight in. Fireworks show. Smokes go down the backside. Allo already with one. Waiting and Sergey potentially from the park sign. He will step out. But only 4-1 so far. They got to exit back. Got to be a little careful because Allo had to switch to the pistol. If Sergey went down, they might have been able to overwhelm the Opera, but that didn't go very well. This is just a stomp from ENCE so far.
See what I mean? I'm going to say it again. Kenny has 5,200 this time. Again, can get the orb. But you know what else he can't get?
Armor.
There you go. He's got 450 left, so he has glass cannon again because he bought CZ armor. You did it.
I got it.
You got the math question right. Yes. Perfectly done. I don't know how they're not seeing this massive issue. It's every time he's had an orb, no Kevlar. It's really kind of tilting me now. Either way, he'll head towards middle, and he'll be flashed off. 9-2. G2 just been run over so far. I haven't watched much of their players of late, but this map just doesn't seem within their wheelhouse. We'll see what they can do. Maybe some late appearances. Allo waiting for the push out monster. He's got a guarantee frag here. Jack's been absolutely blown out of the water there, and Shoxy will try and make up for it. Takes a nade to the face. He's going to take some old Shoxy magic here, but it's one by one. No nades, no teamwork, both going down. Can't stress that enough.
Nade goes out, bounced, ricocheted off the wall. Gabe's favorite game, Ricochet.
It was a great game. An old classic.
Sergey gets bodied.
This is pretty much all the casting we can do at this point as well. G2 player down, another G2 player down, and it seems like we have yet another. It's
down to G2 players. Make that G1 player.
Just
make that G none. That is ridiculous. You're right. It literally is just kill, 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 kill.
Both just rolling over right now. I understand it's late, so maybe it's hit midnight here. Just to be clear, like the level of play will drop, but not for ENCE it seems. But this looks like a G2 team that just hasn't got an answer for this. They have no response. They have no adaptation.
I wonder. I don't want to make excuses for anyone, but with the young talent coming in and they're so keen and eager, when you have these long days and the guys that have done this so much time, are they prone to burnout sooner? Are they a little more tired of saying, man, I've done this before, I just want to get out of here? Whereas the young guys go, I'll play it any hour, I don't care. I don't want to read too much into that, but it's a thought.
Ooh, it's a NES. Will he get the follow-up grenade? He won't. He luckily stays behind the fence there. Get a little armor this time, but still down to 16 HP. It's rough out there. Surely not again. Oh my goodness, it hits. Body gets taken down to 64, but he doesn't get the kill this time. They need to stay away from those wooden planks. They seem to be an absolute nightmare. I assume that's a smoke towards the monster area. Lovely stuff. Locks them out. 15 seconds or so. And finally some damage done towards the CTs. There's one smoke remaining on the T side. A couple of flashes. Molotov. If they were hitting shots, I'd say that's enough, but right now it just seems like everything's gone out the window. Flashbang comes through and ENCE just above and beyond expectations right now. Allo. Nicely timed smoke, that'll buy him a lot of space to focus towards long. And indeed middle. Sergey in the old one and done position. Old favourite Sean gets that one. And they head towards A. They flash towards the site. Now they will find that first shot. Drop the incendiary by a little bit more time. They have to commit to A now, really. They're so far gone. They have one player towards B. That's Shoxy going for a huge lurk play here. Old school style. And they'll get the open up. Maybe this is the chance now.
Allo swinging out, won't be able to get anyone from it because the smoke finally goes down to negate his vision. First time they've done that, really. First time they've gotten this close to the site in quite a while. They're going to go beyond Allo. How is he still alive? How does he get away with that? They do damage and can't find him. Bomb down. He won't be able to get the vision through the smoke, just barely to his left. Because if he'd found that as well, I don't know what I would have said. I don't know what I could have given G2.
Well, it's a 3 versus 2.
I couldn't be accountable for my words at that point, Every.
It's looking very, very bad indeed. Lucky. He's going to have to live up to that name because at this point he's got no grenades and that incendiary might even kill him alone. 15 HP, they can just defuse it. He can't challenge his knife out, save your gun, my friend. So they got a bomb down and the maximum loss bonus is a buy. Again, it will be a difficult orb situation. Oh, I think he went down.
Yep, I heard a player die. I don't know which way it was, but I assume it was him.
Just to be clear, he still gets cash as the bomb was planted. Objective was completed. You only don't get the cash if you die after the timer has expired and there's been no plants. So you still have money, but Matt, I know I always call this, but this looks like it's absolutely done. Like G2 have got nothing to answer back with. And this is a sign of the times. We were saying this, the later stages of 2018, you and I are saying like there's been a shift in the game. Like, these young stars are taking over. We're seeing older names drop off in form, in stats, overall. And I don't know, this is just terrifying how good ENCE look right now and how confident they are.
They look very composed on this map. I do question a little bit. Look, there's no excuse. Teams should know this. But coming into best of ones with such a broad spectrum of teams, there's going to be a few people that are caught off by map pools, right? You think,
sure.
We'll put it to this. We're all right on it. You know, it's a best of one. Everything else is banned, and it might actually just turn out to be the other team's like best map. That shouldn't be an excuse. You should have done your scouting.
Yeah. In the best of one especially, you can definitely play a map you're comfortable on, and a middle ground essentially is what the best of one of a 7-map pool is what the idea is. You get a map you can both play.
Essentially, it is the third map in a best of 3.
Yes, yeah, indeed. But this is just anything but. This looked like ENCE picked it and G2 forgot to practice it because they just got nothing to bring. Like at this point, when you're getting wrecked this badly in your defaults, you should be calling, we're just doing set pieces on B now. We're just going for bomb plants, we're going to try and rely on individual talent, or you go for some rushes, some contact plays. Just these slow defaults are yielding nothing but disaster. So again, it will be a kill there. That flashbang pretty decent. They've got an opening now. They've got to capitalise on it. Cannot be apprehensive here. Got to get on that bomb cell, try and lock off these choke points and just have no utility remaining. That grenade's got to kill. That's going to take body down. Not quite. 12 HP. They've got to try and plant him out. No flashes, no Molotov, no smokes, nothing. And they're going to get picked off one by one. And you can see how detrimental it is. The counter-strike grenades are everything in this game. And this is all falls to pieces. They get the opening pick, but it's nothing to really offer in response. I really hate to say this. It does not look like a pro team playing right now.
No, this is the
It doesn't look like it's a major game.
It leaves you speechless with guys like Shocks, Kenny S.
They surely could. The fact Kenny S didn't have one round in this half with an AWP and Kevlar, I feel like that says it all. Like, they were known, they were famous for force buying back in the day. When they were the kings of the CSGO scene, they could get away with Deagle round, force buy whenever you want, get Kenny an AWP, magic will happen. That's not the system that's going to be working anymore.
I feel like they've mentally checked out already. I mean, yes, the buying's questionable, but it also feels to me like Shocks running into the smoke with a knife. I think maybe it's getting to him that he's not winning anymore, that everyone's calling him out, that things are falling apart, and he's trying to be a hero every round. Go back to fundamentals.
Yeah, you are right. The individual plays, there's no way. When I said like an old school approach when he's in towards B by himself, it's old school for a reason. It doesn't work anymore. It's more about a wolf back game now. Like, you can self-fake, sure, but that lurk, one player removed from the gunfight when you're already struggling, and it's that's not the play. But this is a bold move from Sergey. If he gets multiple kills here, God bless him, because that's a difficult spot. He's taken down. Opening pick for G2. Can they get the 12-3? It's enough to win the game. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's completely over right now. It does not look good. If they get 12-3, it's still a lifeline. Is this boost going to actually find vision? We will see. He can confirm long is clear at least as they fall back. 50 seconds remain. They have smokes this time. Which one has been deployed towards CT? Alexi does spots Kenny S towards long. Baited up perfectly. I'm so unlucky for Kenny. I do feel for him there. The spray takes him down, but they still have a chance in the 4-on-4.
Alu trying to wait for this smoke to dissipate to get the vision back. Babysitter on the ball, and that's going to give them 2 kills. Why? If you're going to be there, be dynamic, surely. If you're going to protect the planter, at least consider the options of where the hell they're going to show up from. And Shocks better show up now, because otherwise it's 13-2, and that's exactly the situation.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the poorer showings from G2. At this event, obviously only played one map so far, but Matthew, they've got to pull their socks up. Let's see if they can do it after the break, as we'll move things forward.
we've had a break. G2 is certainly broken. That last round just perplexes me beyond belief. If you can't take basic responsibility, you've got a player planting, you already have someone watching the bank stairs, and the second player decides, no, y'all look that way too, man.
I thought we were going to take that time to breathe. And
no,
you're still there. It's understandable. I think G2 will admit themselves this has just not been good enough. But can they win this pistol? That's more like it. That's the kind of plays we want to see from Shoxy as he manages to absolutely obliterate them. Much better, and they've won the pistol. Not all hope is lost. There's no reason to suggest they can't do the same on this CT side. There's a reason they picked this map. Maybe this is where they'll do most of their magic. Who knows? But at least signs of life. And great start there. It's not over just yet. So we'll look at the frag charts here. Kenny has 5, Lucky 5, Body 4, double digits on a couple of them. Shox and Jax at the top there. Alu, 21 kills to him. Great play so far. And Ariel, some fantastic moments from him. Sergey's had some clutch scenarios as well. Alexei with 15 kill, 9 deaths game, 69 ADR. A lot of cleanup duty, I would imagine. But is there going to be the force buy from ENCE? No, there's certainly not. They can buy the acres next round. They planned previously, but going to be hedging their bets here, making sure they don't give up too much.
Shox and Body both bringing out the AUG, trying to work through Monster. It's 2 players watching one position. Again, this time they've got someone out on short, though, so it's not like they've left a hole in the defense. They're electing to play this 3-man rather aggressively, and Lucky, he's the one on short range, SMG, MP9. Lots of information available to him. Not spotting much yet. They're going to rotate back off, and you can't really blame them in this situation. It's not like they've done anything wrong to do so. And that 2-man contact is actually going to reaffirm the fact that they want to rotate, but they've got to be very careful. I actually commend at this point Lucky, because he goes out with the MP9, reveals the fact that there's still players over toward Monster, and that foils the plans of any fake that ENCE were hoping to secure, as well as procure bomb plants. So they should be able to wrap this round up.
Oof. A little bit scrappy there, but they don't give up
the operative word.
Yeah, sure. Indeed. Well, this is where the game really begins in this half at least. G2 is to forget about that first half and to say, we're just going to have to win out now. Certainly possible. We talked about their woes and their financial decisions, but now they have the upper hand in the second half. They can play it round by round. This is a best of 1 Swiss format, just to remind you. But G2 did actually manage to beat Vegas Squadron. It was a very close game, right down to the wire, but they did edge it out. Good success in that respect, but this has been anything but. It is a late day, and we do have to take that into account. Like, I do want to make that clear, but at the same time, like, you expect higher level from G2 than what we saw. It just wasn't a team I've ever seen play before. That is not the likes of Shox and Kenny. Their teams do not play like that. But either way, round 18, and ENCE have the rifles out. But you can see it is bare bones. Don't have everything to work with yet. They have 3 swings remaining and a Molotov as well. A few flashbangs as they go into their slow default here. One of these tricky rounds for G2 where they've opted for the financial situation. Keep these SMGs up. Absolutely fine. Not a huge deal. Makes things a little bit more troublesome against these AKs, but you just have to play smart and off each other. And that was a massive problem for them in the first half. Just need to pick up the pieces here, use that experience, and make sure the guys realise this is still possible. It's not over until they reach 16 at the top.
Ariel going to carefully and calculatedly take out the bathrooms, or clear out the bathroom connector, I should say, then flashed into the front door. Confirms no one is out aggressively from G2 in that position as well. Ooh, Zevin's got to be very careful here. Already spotted by Body? Apparently not. I thought maybe he saw the corner of his head given the slant in the wall, but didn't quite work out. And it's the opening pick to ENCE. Flashes high. This is all for naught. This is one man on the opposing side to where the bomb is intended to go. They have an inkling. They have a suggestion that that is the case. Jack smokes himself into the corner, and Kenny wants to take the aggro. That means not going down. He doesn't, but they still read it. Kenny's going to step up. Oh, he is, but he's out of ammo. Ariel nearly gave him a chance. I think he thought he killed him, looked away, and put that Christmas present in the ground because it didn't get shipped in the mail. It's 2 months late. Christmas over Valve, but what a shot. Ariel turns it over. Lucky comes back in and just barely gets it back for G2.
Oh my goodness, they might have some life in them yet. That's like it, right down to the wire, but a round win is on the board. It's 13-5, and got a little bit awkward there with the FAMAS running out of bullets. That Kenny was going to recover and get the kill. The USP wasn't meant to be. But now you can see that temperament changing. Now starting to believe they can do this. That's a big round for them. Now remember, they came into that with FAMAS's MP9, so it was always going to be difficult. Kenny S for the first time has an AWP and armor in round 19 of the game. Is this where it changes? Is this where they really turn it on? I would love to see it. Kenny S going off is always a spectacle. Swinging towards Monster to delay them. And we'll see now. Just the PD50s, some CZs there, and a Deagle for X7. Kenny S looking to get in the game. Wants to have it, just even against these pistols, to get a couple of kills under his belt, just kind of build the confidence up and start nailing some shots and start feeling it. Because right now he hasn't had any opportunities really to show us what he can do with the weapon. As he falls back, this is a perfect and prime opportunity to display that.
Nearly did get a pick toward the stairs, fired it between the two. Body, meanwhile, has 7. Kenny S. He is still looking for those kills. You're right, prime time can also be a disaster if pistols overrun the AWP. We've seen that in countless occasions. He's going to get on top of the box, senses the flash coming, in fact wants to put Jax in a better position, but I don't think Jax really got that communication clearly because he didn't look away, losing his own vision. He's now gotten the kill. Sergey to Shocks. Kenny again has to run off the angle once more. Started up close toward the stairs, all the way back at the site. Has to concede a bomb plant on this as well. But an AUG picked up. This isn't necessarily a foregone conclusion. They're going to go hunting. They know there's 2 players out toward long. If they can push these back stairs, get another kill and another gun, absolutely a chance they can still defend the bomb. It's planted safe side for them at the bank. And Alexib goes back, forget the gun. He's got Jax down. This is clever from ENCE. And a bit of a disaster again. Finally, Kenny gets his kill, but it's a one-on-one, and he wants to get on top of the bomb. No kit to do so. This is gone. This is long gone. He's got to run. They've given it up.
It's a nightmare, isn't it? Just when we are feeling it. Kenny S comes down to the 1v1, touches the bomb, realizes it was all going wrong. And Sergey with 3 kills there. That was an absolute meltdown. Great stuff from ENCE and clever play, like sitting in the smoke and exploiting the fact, obviously, with the bomb down, it's ticking away, it's gone past the halfway stage. You sit in that smoke and you've got an AWP trying to no-scope, he get his USP out. It is a disastrous affair, and it is going to be 14-5. There's now plenty of cash still there for G2, but they are breaking point. Lose this round, but it is a match point. They'll pretty much be giving away the entire map because they'll be left with nothing. 2 players and pistols. Body and Shocks, he couldn't afford to give that round up. Kenny S saves you up. We need big picks here, Kenny. We need something to get excited about. As he looks towards T-steps, can he deliver? Ali on the other side has the AWP as well. You can see the X-ray there just showing how fast these players are. That's more like it from Kenny as he takes down Alu. That's a pick they needed desperately, but Shocks gives it up towards the ladder and brings it back to the 4-on-4. If you get the advantages in these sort of situations, taking solo duels with a pistol that deep on the map, I'm sorry, you got to be more disciplined. You got to take those advantages and hope you can play from them. Kenny hits another shot, but this time doesn't send Alexi to the grave. Flash towards long, still in the round himself. And this could do it. This will break the back of G2. They give this round up. And certainly a team everyone's excited about and what they've done in minors. They haven't proven it on the big stage yet. But for this performance, this level of play they've shown on this particular map, I'm very excited about them going forward. This will be 2-0 for them. Still a lot of work to do in this round, though. Perhaps getting ahead of ourselves. Jackson that connects up, and the bomb makes its way towards long. No bathroom presence on the CTs at all. Kenny now at the bank position. Jax is in a prime spot to flank here, or to be taken down. Sergey, don't think he spotted him, but he is aware that there's a possibility a CT could be waiting. So Kenny, he can be smoked off here. That's real danger for him. That smoke comes in, he either repositions towards the CT steps or has to push through. Will that smoke land? The shot will.
Certainly will. This time he's got one. Another fast shot. He'll fall back in to the guys and conceal him smoke. That brings Jax onto the flank. Finally, something structural that makes sense. As G2, desperate to find yet another. Kenny's going to go aggressive. This is more like it. This is exactly what Kenny's known for. He nearly got that quick one as well, but it's lucky to contribute immediately after the trade and the defuse.
Great stuff. That's the confidence coming back from Kenny now. A couple of nice shots from him there. Rushes in. I think that decision was fine. He manages to get the kill, bring into a 2-on-1. Pretty much guaranteed win at that point. They'll recover the AWP, and they're still feeling it. Sure, they're on the ropes. They're battered and bruised, but it's not over yet. And there will be now, with the bomb going down, I think potentially an EK, considering the situation of Alu and Alexi B. We'll see if they want to force into this. I would say Deagle's armor, take it easy. You've got such a massive lead here. You are not the ones who are making those decisions. You don't have to be. They're not forcing that issue on you. You don't necessarily need to reset them here. You're almost closing this game out. It's pretty much done. Just need to make sure you're calm and calculated here. Use your advantages. You have superior aim right now. Your mechanics look much stronger in this particular matchup. Should wait until you can get those AKs out, get the Orban out of his hand, run one of your strategies and close it down in a satisfying manner. I'd assume that's the case. Whether they buy up to it is obviously up to them. We'll see whether that's the way they're inclined. They haven't purchased anything just yet. 4 seconds remaining on freeze time. They're taking a full eco here. They go for it at the very last second. Still a viable buy. 3 AKs, a Mac 10, Adders on the PD50. I don't think this was the buy that was worth it. If they end up winning the round, obviously fantastic. They look like geniuses, but if they lose it, it's opening that door of opportunity a little bit wider for G2 right back in this game. Another very pivotal round for G2 in their campaign of finding their footing on Overpass.
Ariel waiting with Alexa about toward the construction position. Sergey still spotting out towards Shox in a bit of an engagement that he doesn't really favor, falls off of it and still wins it out. Shox goes hunting, perhaps assuming the retreat that he wouldn't actually be poised and ready, I should say, for that fight.
It's not looking like Shox is it.
Yeah, okay, Kenny was slow to get going, but we've now seen that razzle-dazzle, shall we say, that flashy play that we get from his AWP. There's really no other ways to describe it. Shox just looks like he's trying to force the issue way too much.
He's trying to take those jewels he used to take when he was considered one of the world's greats, but when your mechanics aren't quite there, you're actually maybe costing your team the rounds. 3 versus 2, still possible though. Lucky, brave, as he pushes onto the bomb site here. Smoke dissipating though, so be very careful. Gets himself on the bomb site. He's going to be in a 3 versus 1. Actually still possible for him. There's the first kill, and it won't happen. And that force buy, sure, questionable in terms of the bigger picture, but it works out for them. And the push from Shox, punish towards Connector. That's the first frag gone. They capitalize upon it, and you heard that infamous sound. The dinner bell rings for ENCE, and now with no money and dreams pretty much in tatters of going 2-0. Remember, like, they're not out of the tournament early stretch. They're 1-0 right now. Let's be 1-1. It's just the way the kind of game has panned out for them in this dramatic fashion, and they've looked so lost. It's worrying. I was hoping this team would really prove me wrong turning up to this major and just look not lights out, but look very competitive and ready to kind of prove themselves that everyone was wrong. But right now, this is a bit of a blowout. They have CZs, 5.7s, a couple of SMGs, and a push towards short. No one there. Molotov towards the bathrooms to dissuade Kenny from his position. 5.7 in hand. Let's see what can be done here. Good flashbang. Nice flank with the UMP. Doesn't commit to it though. Kenny's going down for sure. Whether he takes him and whether he's another case, and that won't happen. They need to be cognizant of this flank. Oh no.
They certainly were.
We all saw that. I don't have to tell you what happened there.
Nope. Cognizant is one word for it. Burning alive his body. They'll have a tough time identifying the crisp on that one as Sergey takes out Shox. It's lucky. You feeling lucky, punk? Do ya?
Yeah, they fire 5 bullets or 6. Let's have a look. Well, it is GG, I'm afraid, my friends. I don't know why we're kind of sitting here in silence and don't
it's not anything. I'm speechless. I really am, and I don't have anything to say about that for G2. Hey, credit to ENCE. They looked great. They looked drilled. They were very good in the first half. They were coordinated.